Periodically, a new term or a meme or a new principle of the Bible is developed, and most often by a mega preacher. Some of it is a continuation of the competitive preaching era. Preachers sometimes think they have to come up with a new type of teaching to maintain audience approval. Trust me, the scriptures are enough. I am not sure when the term soul ties emerged in the church, but I truly believe it is a lie, and this is why. It is derived from the relationship between King David and Jonathan. Some of the heresies preached by atheists and those trying to disprove God use the soul tie term between David and Jonathan as proof that David and Jonathan were gay and engaged in sexual relations. Next, Christians will use the account of Genesis when God declared that Adam and Eve would become one flesh. In Genesis, it says, "A man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh." Adam and Eve became one flesh. They did not become soul ties. Soul ties meaning the two are so totally blended together you cannot identify one from the other. This is a lie. For they each maintained their own will and their own identity. We become one with our spouses because of sexual relations, and our bodies come together as one flesh. And because they are to be like-minded, both serving the Lord, yet they are still different. The husband and wife's spirit are different. They have their own spirit. Their actual spirits are not blended together so that they cannot tell each other apart. When we die, our spirits leave our body and they go to heaven. I guarantee you there are zillions of spirits in heaven. They are not all merged together as one spirit. If a man or wife's souls were totally tied together, emerged as one, that would mean he could be at work, she could be at home cooking dinner, and she would be feeling everything he feels, thinking everything he thinks, seeing everything he sees, desiring everything he desires, imagining everything he's imagining. This is a demonic teaching. Yes, we can be so close to our spouse and our children, and we can just feel in our hearts once in a while, something's not right, or I'm thinking about them a lot. I wonder how their day is going today. Maybe I'll give them a call. Maybe something's going on, maybe something's not normal. And you know what? I think I'm going to pray for them right now. The other way I can prove that there's no such thing as soul ties is this. Jesus was notorious for casting out devils, for delivering people of all kinds of demonic oppression and possession. He healed all types of weaknesses and diseases. When he met the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman, he told her she had had 5 husbands and the one she's now living with is not her husband. What he meant by this is that they were not illegally married, but it is proof that he knew that she had had sex with all these guys. So that means if her soul was tied to these men, she's got all these different guys' souls inside her soul, okay? Soul ties. I guarantee you, Jesus would have delivered her, but he didn't, because there's no such thing as soul ties. The Bible does, however, say, do not be unequally yoked with a team of unbelievers. But a yoke is different than a soul being tied. Now, Jonathan was conflicted between loyalty to his friend and loyalty to his father. After Saul plotted several unsuccessful attempts to kill David, Jonathan helped David escape as a refugee. Jonathan continued to serve in battle for his father against the Philistines, who were the enemies of Israel. Jonathan and David made a covenant of friendship and peace that was to last through their descendants forever. Look at 1 Samuel chapter 20, verses 14 through 17, and take a peek at verse 42. What is a covenant? A solemn promise between 2 or more people. Now, the gospel is hidden in the accounts of the first covenant writings, so stop twisting them. First of all, Samuel 20, verse 8. I believe that's the one. You can check it out and let me know. Therefore, show kindness to your servant, for you bound your servant to yourself by a covenant. Jonathan had, what this is saying in 17, Jonathan had David swear again his promise, his covenant, because of the love he had for him. He loved him as he loved himself. This is the account of how the term soul ties came into existence. David and Jonathan's literal souls were not mingled or mixed, united as a complete one. Neither is the man's or the wife's soul. First, Satan tries to teach his satanic gospel line upon line, rule upon rule, and he loves when Christians preach his gospel, and they don't even realize it. We know the scriptures say that God is an awesome God, and we are in God, and when we're born again. God's Spirit is in us, it lives in us. It is united with us, totally united. Decades later, I hear the teaching, since God is in us, and we are in God, then I am in you, and you're in me. This is freaky. This is a lie. A Christian united with me like that? They're in me? Their spirit is in me? Ugh. Look, we are one in the Spirit of God by unity with His Spirit. That means the firm foundation, we are in total agreement of the gospel, an eternal understanding of what Jesus did for each one of us. We agree with the matters of the foundation of Christ, Him crucified, died, risen. It does not mean that my sister and brother in Christ, their human spirit is literally inside of me, and my human spirit is inside of them, because I guarantee you, my human spirit and my human soul is inside of nobody. In closing, I'd like to give a word of advice to any of you who have held to this teaching, and depending on how tightly you've held to this teaching, and even come into agreement with this teaching because, you've had some suspicions, or you had a word of knowledge of this, and you saw this, and you saw that. That very well could be the devil. The devil comes, he's a counterfeit, and he can make himself as an angel of light. And when you hold to this type of false teaching, you've opened the door for the enemy to give you dreams at night, and you think they're from God, to give you words in the Spirit, and you think it's from the Lord. He can even visit you in your prayer time, and you think it's God giving you some type of discernment. He can even start talking to you, putting up false judgments and accusations against your other brothers and sisters in the Messiah, and you believe it, and then you start believing lies about other people in the body of Messiah or other people at your church. So I'm asking you to denounce this teaching, close that door to the devil, and just, ask the Lord to cleanse you with His blood and wash you with the washing of the Word by reading the Word, and to wash you with His Spirit.
Nothing else has given the care, the time, and the reason to share as you've done. You're real, you're true, I'm allowed to express myself because they can't wash you away. Sometimes, and some ways I hold back all my tears, trying to battle my own fears, one by one. it's not the same